Every day that counter gets higher, I get happier. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 137 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through the projects that I'm working on. So hit the like button. Let's get right into it for this week. Here's the Man-Bat's car, also known as the Batmobile. This is the Richman Toys 1989 RC that wasn't very good back then. I've bought it to restore it. It needed some work. I've been doing that work, and in doing some of that work, I've also realized I've made mistakes. I'm not going to cover everything that I'm doing here today, because obviously that's a weird RC. At least that's where this should be, is That's a Weird RC, because this is not That's a Weird RC, this is what's on the bench. And while it is on the bench, it is meant for another show. Yes. But I have made some progress, and then also some of those things that are progress are also setbacks. For example, the hood scoop. That's not supposed to be closed. I took another look at some more examples of Batmobiles, and it is in fact supposed to be a hood scoop. Or roof scoop, I guess. It's not on the hood, it's on the roof. So we're gonna have to fix that again. But I have made another big change. Mostly any styrene that was broken has been replaced or fixed. You can see now that there is room for the fog lamp on the front there. That wasn't there before, that was busted. You might also notice that this has changed. The intake for the jet engine that goes inside this car, jet engine, this was the original intake right here. As you can see, just a piece of plastic, not very exciting. So I actually put a ducted fan in there and redesigned this nose cone piece of the jet engine to accommodate for that. So that'll have a working ducted fan unit in it, which I think is pretty cool. If only there's a way we could figure out to get flames to come out of this all the time as well, that would be kind of neat. But yeah, stuff like that is happening. It's going to be pretty exciting. Lots more work to do on this, but I did want to share that there has been work done. I can't even remember the last time I did That's a Weird RC. But actually this weekend, I'll be shooting content for that show for another episode, because I think the Batmobile deserves a couple episodes, minimum, maybe even 3. So we'll see how far I get on this in the next week or so. Watch for an episode of that coming very soon, and then there will be some more content for That's a Weird RC as well soon for that. Okay, on to the next thing. Next on the bench, my Futaba 6PV, which I still have yet to actually power up, but it does now have the Futaba rechargeable LiPo battery in it, which is great. But what I wanted to show off today mostly was my handle. I made this handle that you can hold your radio with. It's quite a solid piece there. Machined that on the Makera Carvera Air using aluminum and G10 for the grip handle bits. I'm pretty pleased with how this turned out. It took a few different variations and iterations in order to get it to this shape and finish, but it turned out pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. It was fun to design something like this from scratch, and also fun to work out the programming for carving out those handles on the CNC machine as well. I think they turned out pretty good. I love how it's kind of wearing in, and it's got this interesting kind of weave shape color pattern to it. It really does look pretty cool. And it was a super easy mod to do. And you know, they have, for this 6PV is the same as the 10PX basically in terms of the mounting positions. So they've already got a bunch of like carbon fiber handles that you can get that would do exactly what this one did. And for the amount of labor and time that I put into it, it was probably not a great investment to do it this way. But I'm really happy that I did, because I learned a lot, and I can say that I made this myself, which is pretty darn cool. So yeah, that Makera continues to prove that it is an incredible machine. Definitely something you should consider if you are looking to get into home CNCing. If you've got any ideas for carbon fiber pieces, aluminum, brass, anything like that, this is the machine to get. It is spectacular. I love it. I really do. As evidenced by the review and all of the stuff I've done with it. You know, beadlock rings. I still need to make 3 more for that truck. What else have I done? Well, this handle, of course. There's been other things. What else have I done with it? Oh, I've made brass hexes that I ended up not needing to use. Oh, I made all the parts on the Rockabilly. It's really versatile machine. Highly recommend it. So if you have any interest whatsoever in doing your own CNC machining and you want to do it at home on a budget, it's not cheap, but it's probably the best one out there. So yeah, so there you go. If you actually, in fact, if you have a 10PX or a 7PV or now a 6PV and you want this handle, I'm happy to send you the files. So just shoot me a message or put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback. I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. Of course, if you're enjoying this video, you should have already hit the like button, and you're probably already a subscriber. And if you're not, you should also check out the channel membership, which all of these fellow gold level ding-dongs have already done. They get access to all sorts of content, behind the scenes content, tips and tricks, how-tos, travel logs, but there is one that I'll be shooting this weekend, and all sorts of other bonus content. So definitely check that out. And thank you to all of you ding-dongs for making that a possibility, sharing this great community together. Okay, that's it for the radio. On to the next thing. Next on the bench this week, here is what's the beginnings of my Jeep, or here's the beginnings of here's the beginnings of my RCMustDIY IJ. And you've probably seen a lot of these on the internet. It's become a pretty popular print through Youmagine.com to completely transform a VS410. You probably get the idea that it's sort of loosely modeled after a Jeep. It's not a Jeep though, it's an IJ, meaning it can be your J. I meaning you. But yeah, I've been printing this in ABS. It's silver ABS. It's a very nice quality print coming off the Bamboo H2D. I did all the interior bits in sort of like a ash gray carbon fiber PLA, which I think was a nice kind of match to this silver. It won't be staying silver forever though, because what I'm going to do is sand all of these panels once it's all assembled, get it nice and crisp, prime it, paint it, and then when it gets scratched, it'll reveal the silver underneath, showing a nice scratched body panel, which I think will look pretty cool. But yeah, it's an incredible kit. I highly recommend it, especially because the instructions are so good. It really is quite easy to put together. The designer, Charles, did a really spectacular job of making sure that it's not just sort of one of these sort of like models that you happen to print. It's rigid and strong, and the way that he's built it and designed it, it should handle a fair bit of abuse. For a 3D print, it is really, really well designed and engineered. I'm really pleased with it so far, and it looks really good. He's also really open to customizing and like kind of tailoring it to whatever sort of look you're going for. There are a bunch of different door skins that you can skin this with. He actually even made me a special set of mounts for these headlights that I found, which he's also using on his. So obviously those parts existed already, but you can see it's going to have a halo effect, sort of like a real Jeep might have. So yeah, lots more parts to that to do still. Of course, it's going to go on a VS410. There are a bunch of files that I need to print in order to make that compatible with this, but it is sort of a drop-on magnet mount. So there's some of the magnets right there. It's going to be much stronger than just 4, obviously, but it's going to be quite the heavy-duty build. And to go with that, it's going to need a pretty heavy-duty motor. And Furitech was kind enough to send me their latest. This is their new 2-in-1 unit. Which I'm going to take out of the package for the first time right now, because I haven't yet done that. I'm not really at the stage to put this body on a chassis yet. And of course, I haven't opened it, so I have to talk my way through opening it. But here it is right here, the Komodo Unity 2-in-1 unit. Now this is like your standard ESC motor combo, but in a much more compact package. Like, this is not like the Hobby Wing 2-in-1s. It's about half the size of that. And it's an Outrunner, which is also pretty cool. I like these little Outrunner motors, especially when paired with FOC and the 32-bit systems that they're using these days. Super quiet. You don't get that wee-wow that you used to get from the Outrunner motors in our hobby. But yeah, this one is a 2300 kV. So, gosh, I can't believe that they managed to fit everything in there. It's so small. XT30 connector. Oh, but it does come with an XT30 to XT60 connector adapter. Also screws to mount to your transmission. So everything you'll need all in one box. These are also going to be programmed via the Furitech Bluetooth app. Amazing. I still like, how did they get it all in there? But that's really cool. I'm really excited to get that up and running. Josh over at Harley Designs already has his in a Rockabilly on Portals, which I think is going to be a really fun build as well. So there you go. If you're interested in one of these and any of the things that I'm sharing today, I will put links in the description down below. And that's it. What else do we got? Oh! Finally for this week, you probably can't see it, but here's the generator that I built. This is the Defender Customs M18. It uses a Milwaukee M18 style battery to power itself. It basically becomes a mobile charger for your phone or your batteries. It's now camouflaged to match the CUCV, because I'm going to have both of these together this weekend, and I wanted to have a nice sort of matching complement to each other. I figured this Canadian Cuck V should probably be pulling a similarly camoed generator. I think it all looks very good together. This was a super easy paint job to do. What I did was I took all the panels off and laid them all out flat. So I was able to kind of keep the pattern going around corners and stuff. It just seemed like a pretty easy way to do it, and I'm very happy with the results. I used my Galeri airbrush. That thing, used the Swallowtail. It's just awesome. It does such a great job with all sorts of paints, including their own paint. Now Galeri has their own line of paint called Kaleido. And actually, here, this is something I painted up with that paint. This little guy was done with that Kaleido paint, and it flows really well. It's actually pre-thinned for airbrushing. I would say it's almost even a little too thin, if anything. But it actually has a really nice coverage, and it looks fantastic. They sent me their automotive, I'm gonna just grab the whole kit here. They sent me their 24 color auto kit. So we've got all sorts of really nice colors here. Let's see if I can pull them all out and you can get a good look. But yeah, lots of different colors to choose from just in this one kit. And they are, like I said, pre-thinned. They use this sort of rapid air technology that allows for a very nice, even coverage on very quick coats. And the other nice thing about it is that when it dries very hard, almost like a lacquer. So you don't get a lot of that ability to scrape or scratch it off. It goes on pretty darn well. I'm really impressed so far with this paint. I've been so used to using the Vallejo line of Model Air paint that this was a bit of a departure. It really goes on really quick, and it self-levels really nicely. I would highly recommend it. If you're looking to do automotive models, this kit is great. They've got a ton of other colors with dozens more coming out very soon. So something I would recommend for sure, especially if you're using a Galeri airbrush, because they are formulated to work best with their materials. But yeah, I'm very thankful that they sent me that stuff. I wish they had sent me camo colors, because then I could have done the camo on the back of that generator. But yeah, if you have any more interest in that, of course, link down below. They've got a full line, including primer, cleaners, varnishes, and dozens of colors, with lots more on the way. All right, so thank you to them for sending those my way. And of course, thank you to all of you for watching. I've got a really fun RC-related weekend coming up. Cannot wait to start filming that. Going to see some friends that I haven't seen in a very long time, months at least. So it's going to be really great. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next week.